What's going on, everyone, and welcome to the start of the Round 2 Cup of Nations playoffs for 2023. We have an absolute baller series to start out with here. It's the Battle of the Cats. It's Yosabi, or whatever, RiceShower, who has Odrysians, against Seminaked, who has Nervii. Very interesting matchup, and also very good players. I think these are probably the players that I think have performed the best, although maybe Seminaked kind of choked a little bit in the last group stage. But he beat me, and I thought he was going to get first in the group, but he actually lost to Skylum and Soap, I believe. So Soap also has Odrysian, so maybe that's kind of a bad sign. But theoretically, I think Nervii should be a bit better, but RiceShower has been really good with Odrysian so far, so we'll have to see. Really crazy series. I saw some of it live. I think Soap was streaming it. And it was insane. So I was like, okay, I have to watch this and commentate it. So let's get right into it. Playoffs is double elimination. We got little apple things everywhere. That's pretty awesome. But yeah, playoffs is double elimination, so nobody's getting eliminated, but you don't want to be in the lower bracket to start off your run. So let's look at the armies, and right away we see pretty usual army that we've seen from like the Odrysian players. A bit different though, and I like the change. Maybe. Anyway, 4 Thracian Cav, that's good. Jav Cav are nice. 4 Slingers. He's got Thracian Warriors, Thracian Warriors, Thracian Warriors, Thracian Warrior, Thracian Warriors, so 5 Thracian Warriors, 3 Thracian Nobles, 3 of the Thracian Cav, which are pretty bad, or Thracian Horsemen, sorry, and Thracian Royal Cav Gen. So the only change that RiceShower has made from the usual army is he's changed out 1 Thracian Noble to a Thracian Royal Cav, and then basically took away a Thracian Cav, Thracian Horseman, and brought another Thracian Warrior. So 1 Elite Cav for 1 Elite Infantry, basically, and changing out a mid-tier Cav for a mid-tier Infantry, or kind of low tier. But that's yeah, pretty standard army. It's going to rely on these nobles getting really good engagements, and the way I see it personally is that the nobles should be things that are killing the cheap infantry. I mean, there are no Oathor on the field for Seminaked. We'll get into his army in a second, but I think the way you should use the nobles is to like one-shot light or cheaper infantry. You don't really want to take a Thracian noble against an Oathhorn because like you'll just trade off, and that's really shit because your rest of your army sucks compared to Nervii. The Thracian nobles are very good, but they don't really trade cost effectively with elite infantry. I mean, maybe technically it's cost effective if they trade with an Oathsword, but it's like barely cost effective, and there's a lot of ways it can go wrong. Whereas you can get through like 7 Celtic warriors and the Fierce Sword without skipping a beat as a Thracian noble because they just kill them so fast. Of course, as long as you don't take missile fire and javelins, which is easier said than done. But let's get into the army of Seminaked. He has 3 Germanic Scout Riders. Interestingly, putting them all on one flank, I don't really agree with that because now this unit is going to have a lot of freedom. Better be 2v3 and 1v1 over here, or like, yeah, that's better, I think, but okay. Because this unit can go around the flank now, and then this Levy Freeman's have to deal with it, which means you don't have a Levy Freeman in the front line, which means you can get, your frontal units can get charged. But he has a Cav spam, so he has 1, 2, 3 at least Noble Horse. I would assume he has more than 1 Mighty Horse, but maybe he only has 1 Mighty Horse. He does have 4 Slingers, he has 4 Fierce Swords, is that even legal? Yeah, it is for Nervii, yeah. And 2 Celtic Warriors. Also has a Gallic Hunter, so a bit of a kite, perhaps, which is fine against this, of course. And he's got, yeah, I mean, his Fierce Swords are going to be pretty good, against, anything besides the nobles. He's got the 2 Celtic Warriors, just 1 Levy Freeman, looks like. Kind of whatever. And, he's down 1 Jav Cav, but he can't really help that. But I think this is a pretty fine army. He just needs to not get rushed down here because his infantry will lose to Thracian nobles. And again, the Thracian nobles are insanely good against cavalry as well. Something that they're probably underrated against cavalry a little bit. We're doing a bit of a slinger war here. He's only up, or maybe this is a Gallic Hunter as well. Yeah, so he has 2 Gallic Hunters, so he doesn't have any more Cav. So he only has 4 Cav, but they are much better than the Thracian Cav, of course. Bit of a messy fight here, but he's going to shoot down these Celtic Warriors. Actually looking for a charge, this is fine. Actually getting so many kills on them. You'll have to retreat though because the Cav and Jav Cav are coming. Nothing happening on the air flank. So he's down 6 missiles. It's 6 missiles for Seminaked. So this is a kite. which I like to see that. I think that's cool. Oh, he's gonna get owned here. Thracian doesn't get the best no charge of the Noble Horse on the Thracian Warrior, so the Thracian Warrior will actually do some damage here to the Noble Horse. Again, the Thracian units are very good against Cav. The Thracian Nobles can actually take a charge though, because they just do so much damage on the charge. They actually just kill Cav on the charge. The Thracian Warriors cannot take a charge from Cav, but in extended melee they will do significant damage, and you can see they've kind of done that here. Um, I bet some of these kills are certainly on the Noble Horse there. And this fire is also good. He Frenzy charged his ass into here. I think they're both using Frenzy Charge a bit liberally, but whatever. If they're both okay with it, I'm fine with that. But you can see the Noble Horse taking about 30 damage. The Thracian Horseman is dead. But he also killed some Jav Cav. They'll come back, and the Jav Cav is pretty healthy for the Thracian Cav. Yeah, it's pretty healthy, so not too bad overall. Some trades coming out. But yeah, losing a Noble Horse is not great, although if he trades it off with a Thracian Horseman, it's sort of whatever, because again, there's 2 more Noble Horse and a Mighty Horse. The Thracian Royal Cav is the best melee Cav in the game, actually, against Cav, so it'll be better than the Noble Horse, significantly actually, but hardly really matters. When you have, the Thracian Horsemen are so bad, basically. So they're going to trade off these 2 Cav, and I'm pretty sure Seminaked will be fine with that, because, again, as long as he just trades everything off, it's going to be really good for him. Getting some free shots on here. I would actually take these shots, right-sided shots, into the Thracian Slingers that are bunched up here. When you're doing the kite, you're going to be able to shoot these guys at any moment. It doesn't really matter to shoot them now. Like, it doesn't really do anything. It's much better to get the free shots on the missile units, because these are the things that can make your kite a bit difficult. You're actually going to kill off this Celtic right again. Of course, he did lose a Thracian Warrior, so he's kind of just trading equally right now. This RiceShower, so that's fine. He got rid of a Noble Horse for a Thracian Horseman, so that's good. But not necessarily winning, because again, trading Cav is kind of bad when the enemy has 6 Slingers. But now you can see, now he doesn't have the opportunity to shoot the Slingers in the side anymore, and they're still quite healthy. Get some nice shots into the Cav. See if they can pushing the Slingers a little bit, but if he gets pushed back, might lose some as well. Yeah, trade it off. Here the Thracian Slingers are shooting the Cav. This is fine, but again, like, I think you just do a Slinger war here. You're on the hill as well. If he gets on this hill, you'll like do so much damage to the Slingers. You're a bit close. It's a bit close to do that though. He would need to push them back a bit. But let's triple speed here a little bit. Long series ahead of ourselves. And now, okay, he's just running the Thracian Nobles up. They could get shot here. But the Thracian Nobles again are quite powerful. Ooh, bit of a blunder there. They're exhausted, right? So you can't do shit when you're exhausted. This is like bad. You need to just rest. And this is, I think, one thing that Seminaked did kind of strangely, I think, was like using his Jav Cav super aggressively after going after the Slingers. And it just cost him, because you can just sit the Slingers, stand them still if you have Cav coming to pressure. Of course, here he doesn't really. But if if these guys were early, you just sit them standing still, and you have to run away, and then you get shot in the back. And they're also exhausted, so they're just too slow to avoid the javelins, which is kind of bad. But again, you just kite here. We need to see these archers start shooting down the Thracian Slingers. They only have 15 armor, so they're worse than the Cutlass Slingers, so you can just literally trade and you'll win. Of course, you don't want to lose too many of your missiles because you want to shoot down the Thracian Nobles. You don't really have an answer for them if you run out of ammo, so that's a bit of a problem. Again, these Jav Cav are just so exhausted, they can't do anything. They're going to all die in melee here, so that was a big mistake. And at that point, he's going to be in a big problem because of exactly this. He's down on Jav Cav. It's 3v4 Jav Cav at the start of the game. Now it's like 0v, like 3 or 4 or some shit. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 0v4, and now you cannot protect your Slingers because the Cav numbers are equal. And this should spell disaster, like losing a Gallic Hunter there, or a Slinger or whatever, is not good. And surely more will drop. I just want to see what kind of unit it was Gallic Hunter yet. Again, like, this shit is just like pointless. You're just like in range of missile fire, you're just gonna get shot. He is getting some shots on the Thracian Nobles, but again, the Thracian Nobles can now afford some losses because there's just not enough infantry on the field, really. And he's killing the archers. You can't lose all his Thracian Nobles, of course, that would be disastrous, but you can lose some of them. Nice javelins from the general, nice counter shooting from the Slingers, but over here you can see there's just no protection for some of these missile units, and this is going to spell disaster, because at this point he doesn't even have a huge missile advantage. So I think, yeah, nice charge. Thracian Nobles will commit on the Celtics, kill them off. Well, they do run away, that's kind of smart, just avoid the fight. But again, Slinger's just dying, kind of a miss micro, but at this point it's pretty much over. Again, the Thracian Royal Cav will own the Noble Horse. No doubt about that. And the slingers are still just going down, and there's like Thracian nobles left on the field and stuff, so this game is over. So it started out kind of fine, but I think Seminaked just got too greedy with the Javcav, basically, and that let him lose all of his slingers. He just needed to do a straight-up missile war, shoot down the enemy slingers, especially when he had the chance to shoot them in the right side when they were like shooting something here and his slingers were back here. Just shoot them in the right side, kill them off. You can shoot the Thracian warriors down at any moment, like that's not really a priority, because they're just weak to missiles anyway, so it's not like that's like if it was cav shots you could understand that, right, because the cav can kill your missiles off, but Thracian warriors are really not a threat relative to the slingers and the cav, so you should have just shot them. Thracian warrior cav gonna get a bunch of kills on noble horse because they're just good and the noble horse suck, and you can see the Thracian nobles are still quite healthy in the end game. 3 of them, well, one's pretty weak, but yeah. First game goes to RiceShower, and pretty convincingly too. I don't think he didn't really do much. He just kind of sat around, and then he had an advantage, and so he just took it and won. But yeah, Seminaked was way too aggressive with the Javcav. I think that's something he'll need to look out for. So it looks like this game, he doesn't have the kite anymore. He has switched to an Oathsworn build, which is also fine, I guess. Same army for RiceShower. He has this strange central formation here where his Thracian warriors are in this like big ass line. It's to prevent getting charged, because the units won't really hit. You know, they'll try to, like, the units that are on the side of the cav unit won't really get a good charge. It does make them pretty weak to missiles and javelins though, so I don't really see why it's that good. Because like I wouldn't charge a Thracian warrior anyway. I would just shoot them. But you know, it depends. But yes, again, the 3 Thracian nobles, the 3 Thracian horsemen, Thracian royal cav, 5 Thracian warriors, 4 slingers, 4 javcav. Still 3 javcav for Seminaked. He has 4 slingers this time. He does have 3 Levy Freemen and a spear brother. So quite a nice spear force. Again, these javelins, you want to use them on infantry, not on cavalry, which is something that people sometimes will struggle with. But yeah, you want to basically lure these units into like javelins and then just kill them off, because once they take like 30 or 40 losses, they're just going to insta-die to your melee units. And he does have a very strong melee force as well. He has 4 Oathsworn, but he only has 3 cav, and so he's outnumbered in the cav by 1, by the 1 elite cav, and of course the mighty horse are significantly better than the Thracian horsemen as well. So it's going to be really important that he preserves the jav cav in this game, because they're going to be important to defending his slingers. Of course, he doesn't really need to defend his slingers necessarily, if his Oathsworn can win the fight. He also has 2 Celtic warriors, by the way. But, you know, you could potentially get kited in the late game if your Oathsworn take a lot of damage, your cav, if your cav lose because of the numbers, there's also the extra jav cav, and your slingers die early, then you're in big trouble. So, you should try to preserve his jav cav. Otherwise, his goal should be to deplete the Thracian nobles slightly, and then get the Oathsworn. And of course, he has an extra Oathsworn, which is nice, but he only has, like, 2 fodder, you know, Celtic warriors and some spears against the 5 Thracian warriors. The Thracian warriors will win against any of those units, I'm pretty sure, without taking prior damage. So it's important for Nervii ally to try to chip away at the HP of the Thracian warriors and the Thracian nobles before engaging. Otherwise, I mean, he could still try to go for like a straight up engagement, but I think then, you know, he does have an extra Oathsworn, but there's a lot better support for Thrace. So he has to be careful about that. Again, this is like this is rough in my opinion. I don't like this, because if he just stands here and shoots with the slingers, they're gonna fucking massacre the scout riders. They're already winded. They're already taking damage in the back. You might get a few kills on slingers, but your slingers are already better. You know, at least he's coming up with his own slingers to shoot as well. This is good. But I don't like losing so many Javcav for such a small benefit. And he doesn't actually take too much damage in the end, but like highly risky in my opinion. Doesn't get that many kills, but you know, any kills on the slingers will manifest themselves a lot in the slinger war. Anyway, let's skip ahead here. He's pressuring again with Javcav. It's 3v4 too. It's not like you have a huge Javcav advantage anyway. Does get a nice javelin volley there though. Here again, like they could charge, but they're just gonna get countered by the Thracian noble. They get like 7 kills and they lose, you know, 8 men, so whatever. Here, the spear brother gets wasted, just commits. Here, this jack, because now he's like over, you know, now he's lost this unit, he's losing the spear brother. He's just trying too many things. You don't really need to do that. I don't think, like, your slingers are better, just like sit there and shoot them. But now you try to do too much, get a little fancy, and now all of a sudden you're losing an entire Javcav. You're losing most of a Spear Brother. He's gonna lose another unit here, like, and all of a sudden things are going bad. And this Thracian Noble can just charge because it will kill the Cav on the charge. It'll just absolutely massacre them. You can see it just getting owned, and those kills were probably all from Thracian Nobles because the Thracian Nobles are being charged. But he will get a nice counter charge with the Oathsworn, but nice. So a big thing for Thrace is going to be the ability to cycle charge properly. And this was a good example. Sacrificing the Thracian Warrior to get yourself a second charge with your Noble, but your Noble is getting shot pretty hard here and took a Javelin volley, so it's already going to be down, 30 men, so it's probably not going to perform too well in the long run. And of course, he also needs his Thracian Warriors to kill some fodder units, but fortunately, he's been gifted quite a few fodder units. Here again, just like don't do this ever. Your Thracian Mighty Horse is down 40 men to the Thracian, the Thracian Nobles. They didn't lose a single man. Like, that was 4 men, sorry. Yeah, that's bad. Here, the fodder unit's getting charged. Might get a nice charge. You can see what he's trying to do here. He's going into that long column formation. They're going to work here, though. Now he's going to get a nice charge block here, and the Station Noble should own this fight. Here, the General is going to combine for good kills. Does kind of freak out here, but he's going to get away without too many losses. That's okay. On the flank, you got Thracian Noble versus Oathsworn. Going to be a good draw again. That was a pretty easy fight, and it's just a draw. Here, he might do better, though, because the Oathsworn didn't get a charge, so he's going to start to rock and roll there. But even there, it should probably end up being pretty close. Just because the Thracian Noble takes so much damage. He's losing one Thracian Noble pretty much for free here. Not for free, he's losing another one. So, yeah, trading down. So, it's pretty much trading down. But you have to be careful because now the the slingers are important. But the fact that he gave away like a Jav Cav, he's giving away a Cav, there's going to be a big Cav advantage for RiceShower here, and I don't think that the extra Oathsworn is going to be enough because this Oathsworn is going to lose pretty significantly. Maybe it won't because the Celtic Warrior is coming in. But even if the Thracian Nobles and Oathsworn trade 1 for 1, you have an Oathsworn left, but there's 4 slingers left. There's a couple of fodder units left. He threw away a lot of Cav. The Celtic Warriors are dying, and now the Jav Cav advantage will easily kill off the slingers, and that should be like GG pretty much because there's going to be nothing left except for the Oathsworn. Against, the General, which is full strength, hasn't done anything the whole game. You have some Cav, some reserve units, whatever, and the 4 slingers, which can easily kill an Oathsworn. And they're going to kill this Oathsworn as well. So this Oathsworn did win against the Thracian Noble. You can see over here, close, but it doesn't really matter. The General's going to clean this up. But the Thracian Warriors getting into the fight, again, they had better support. You can see the Celtic Warriors are all dead, but the Thracian Warriors are slightly alive. So there's another Thracian Warrior here as well. So yeah, now the General will just commit into the slingers. Nothing to really stop them. Nice kills. Yeah, the captain's alive. There's some Oathsworn left, but 31. General at 100, sure. 31, 17. Like, these are all depleted as units, and there's a fuck ton of slingers left. The General is alive. There's a big Thracian Warrior, so this should be easy peasy. Just clean everything up. And the General, yeah, is just gonna charge your Thracian Warrior and get some good kills on the Gen, and then your General and the slingers will easily clean it up. Not sure why he's shooting this unit when he could just shoot the back of the Gen, but whatever. Doesn't really matter at this point. So 2-0, and things are looking pretty dire for Seminaked because he hasn't had a good. He's tried 2 different strategies so far, and neither of them have really paid off, and neither of them have been particularly successful. Like, it's not even been that close. But again, I think he's still making a lot of mistakes, so perhaps he needs to change something up. Like 1129 to 1600 kills, very, very not close. All the slingers are alive, the Jav Cav alive, the General alive. He basically did exactly what I said could happen, right? If you trade the Thracian Nobles and the Oathsworn 1 for 1, the Thracian Warrior support is better than the Celtic Warriors and the Levy Freeman and the Spear Brother. Of course, he did waste the Spear Brother, but still. And then the Slinger, the Jav Cav and Cav diff will mean your Slingers die, and then it's Slingers and General versus, maybe Oathsworn and whatever's left of the infantry, and that's not really winnable. So he's got to change something. Game 3, and he's going back to. Well, no, I should say this is the 3rd strategy that he's tried basically. Right, the first game it was Curve Cav spam, but it was actually a kite. This is not a kite. This is a Cav spam rush, so very different. RiceShower, he just says, fuck it, I'm bringing the same shit. I've won every game. Don't see a problem with that, really. So now you can see it's a bit different. He has 2 Noble Horse, he has 4 Mighty Horse, so 6 Cav. Again, he has the 4 Fierce Sword, 2 Celtic Warrior combo with Spear Brother and 4 Levy Freeman this time. So, nope, 2 Spear Brothers and 3 Levy Freeman, sorry. So very good infantry core, but no elites, of course. He's got good cav, again, much better than what RiceShower can even possibly bring, unless he brings Thracian Royal Cav spam. But he only has 1 Thracian Royal Cav, and the Mighty Horse will fuck up the Thracian Horse, so it's a big cav advantage, which just means, you know, the only thing that RiceShower now has in his favor is A, he has Slingers, which is nice, but there's a lot of cav to contend with, and B, he does have his Thracian Nobles, and the Thracian Nobles all of a sudden become hugely important because they are the only thing that can really kill so much cav, actually, as well as having to kill off the infantry, of course, but that's sort of given. So now you have to kind of preserve your Thracian Nobles if possible. A funny thing is, like, they can lead your line. You don't want them to get javelined, of course, and that's the other thing, but if you can bait out the javelins or whatever, they can just run forward and take the engagement because nothing can charge them. So that's a funny thing. But the thing is, they can't really take javelins, right? So you can kind of avoid that if possible. Again, kind of getting aggressive with the Jav 57, 60, 60. Yeah, RiceShower getting the better of the Javi engagements there. The spears will be useful, just javelin some of these frontal units, or potentially the Thracian nobles, but we'll have to see how these Fierce Swords perform as well, because they can be really good against Thracian nobles even if they don't get like a good charge. Here we're just exchanging javelin fire, both losing some men, not really much going on. This a big thing I would like to see from RiceShower is to put the Jav Cav in front of his line here. To prevent an all-out rush. Although maybe he's not so worried about an all-out rush, honestly. That's possible as well, because he has these weird formation, anti-charge units. He has Thracian nobles on the flanks. He can countercharge with some of his units, so maybe it's better to go around the flank, try to pull some units around, you know, pull some units back. So I would just go around the rear here. You can run all the way across this very wide line. One Levy Freeman will not be able to, or Spear Brother will not be able to defend your whole line here. You'll either have to pull units back from here or retreat Levy Freeman. So that could be really useful to open up some direct line of sight to the Fierce Swords. But anyway, it's going to be a rush. We kind of know that, so we'll have to see how it performs. Again, if the Thracian nobles die, this is very, very winning for Nervii, but it's very unclear how you kill the Thracian nobles, except for just like blob attacking them when they get out of their chart, when they don't have a charge. So we'll have to see. This guy goes behind, nice. He's just gonna YOLO charge with the noble, gonna charge with his cab as well. Yeah, he sees it coming, nice. Yeah, he just bails, this is good. So yeah, this is exactly what I'm saying. Block the charge and come in with the Thracian nobles, and they did it. This is gonna be huge. Not losing men immediately, but they'll start to really drop here very quickly if he's not careful. Here we can see the anti-charge blocker in action. Let's see how well it did. Because you can see, these guys get the impact damage, but these guys don't really get such an impact damage. They do get some, but look how many miss, right? So that's the goal of this formation, and you can see it's actually pretty successful. So, interesting. His Thracian, slingers are also going to get some really nice shots on the Mighty Horse. So yeah, this was, I would say, a complete success. So very cool. The general, sorry, I didn't catch the general. He lost 10 men to the Thracian noble, 11 men. And now he's going to kill off a Celtic warrior. But up in the center now, we got a blob attack coming in here. But Thracian nobles are going to countercharge. There's not Thracian nobles to countercharge everywhere, though, because there's only, 3 of them. So here, this is going to be a good fight. But over here, for example, this should be completely good. This should be completely good for Nervii. And the rush is coming in. Now you can triple javelin, for example, this Thracian noble. This Mighty Horse kind of suicided. And you can see nice positioning from the Jav Cav, getting some shots on Cav. This is good. This charge is going to be like subpar from the gen. Wouldn't even come in here. No point, really. And 2k Thracian Warrior is going to kill off Spear Brother. Very nice. Thracian Noble going to be very free in the late game here, but it's kind of far away from any sort of help. The question is, how well is the Cav surviving? 58 men, general healthy. This unit is 55, so far so good, and this unit is 59. So the health on the Cav is much better for Thrace, but there's a lot more under Cav. But you can see they're significantly dropping, and the Jav Cav are still very healthy. He has forgotten about his Jav Cav for now, but that's not really a big deal because they couldn't really do anything with the Jav Cav alive for Brace anyway, or Odrysians anyway. Thracian Noble's gonna dominate these central fights. Here they get in it as well, but maybe they didn't get such a good charge here. Oh, they got their charge blocked by the. Okay, but this is fine. Again, if you're killing Noble Cav, that's a huge, huge win. But at the same time, if they block the charge and now these Fear Swords are getting kill the Thracian Nobles, yes, there's going to be a lot of casualties on your Noble Horse, but you have so much cav that if the Thracian Nobles die, of course the Thracian Warriors are not going to be really that long for this world anyway, it's just their nature, but yeah, if the Thracian Nobles die, even if they have to just sacrifice some cav, there may not be enough cav to either defend the slingers or even kill the infantry, because Nervii might win out the infantry war outright, which would be a big problem. This link is completely won by Thrace though. Here again, wasting the Thracian horse. No need to fight this Levy Freeman, dude. Like, this is completely useless. Just get your Thracian warrior run away. But over here you can see this link is collapsing, and this Thracian noble not getting so many kills because the charge got blocked by the gen, and now they're just getting surrounded. So generals can escape here, but losing a lot of men. He sacrifices some Thracian cav, like understandably, to get his general out. But his general's out with 30 men, so it's not a huge problem. Firing into the blob will get a lot of kills with the Jav Cav. He needs to preserve his Jav Cav. Now the general's safe. Get the fucking Jav Cav out of here because they can still really do a lot to defend the slingers. There's a full Thracian, noble here, another Thracian noble, 90 men here, so it's not over. He won one flank, center and left is going to Thrace right now, but this is pretty costly to lose some men in here, so he gets out. It's not the worst thing in the world. These cav are dying. You lose some Thracian horsemen, but let's take account of the cavalry numbers now, because now the game's kind of, going into the next stage. Now, don't forget the 3 cav here. At some point, you'll have to remember them shortly. So 58 Jav Cav, 52 Jav Cav, 60 Jav Cav, and 1, 2, 3. He probably lost 1 Jav Cav at some points, I guess. And his general is at 28 men. This cav at 16 and is exhausted. So not a lot of cav left, but on this side 11, 42, the general at 35. So yeah, there's a bit more cav on the field, and there's also 14 mighty horse there. So yeah, the cav advantage is firmly in the favor of Nervii, which it started out as. He's pretty much trade evenly, I would say. But he needs to really shoot down the cav right now, or it's going to be too late, and these Jav Cav are going to come and they're going to kill the slingers and win the game. And again, here's the other thing: even if the slingers survive and the cav dies, there's a lot of infantry left on the field. Or maybe the cav doesn't die, but the cav cannot kill the slingers without dying. There's a lot of infantry left on the field for Nervii. He popped force concentration here, so they don't rout, I guess. No, it's the attack ability. He didn't use the unbreakable ability. I'm not sure where that would be useful. I would just bring Seminaked. Now he has to sacrifice units into the noble horse here. Oh, he did. He popped it, but nothing's really routing there. Just the mighty horse with 5 men. So now the Thracian nobles, they're not really doing. They got 156 kills, 114 kills, so pretty nice. But this Thracian noble pretty much died, and the infantry is now pretty good for Nervii, but not over. Commits into this mighty horse again, but now he's losing Jav Cav, and when he, I mean, maybe he won't remember. Now he's almost running out of time, because if he forgets these guys until too late and everything dies for Nervii, then the Jav Cav will be insufficient material to win the game. But they probably have like most of their javelins and everything too, so that could be super valuable. But he has to remember them soon, or it's just over. It's over. Big fierce sword, but a big Thracian noble here. You can pull it out and recycle it. There's a sword here 90, so yeah, the infantry fight is very close, but it looks like Nervii will take it because these Thracian nobles aren't going to be able to get charges. And the cavalry fight also very close, except for the 3. Oh, he did remember them now. So yeah, it's over because these guys are going to come, and there's no defense against this because there's just no cav left on the field, and your infantry is losing as well. So he did remember. I mean, yeah, I think he would even win without these guys because he's going to win this infantry fight so easily, and then the slingers would probably be. Well, okay, they still existed, right? So, like, even if he killed everything, the slingers would lose in the end game when he finally remembered them. So yeah, he didn't really remember when he remembered them, as long as he remembered them at some point. I didn't, like, admit defeat. I think he would win. Yeah, they still have javelins, they're gonna kill off these slingers, no problemo. They're fully healthy compared to, like, less healthy Thracian Cav, and the Fierce Swords did win. Yeah, so, once these infantry died, there was no defense for the slingers, and the Jav Cav will clutch it up, even though he forgot about them. It ended up being not a huge problem. If you remembered them earlier, it would have been nice, but he might have also thrown them away, Here, he really used them at the right moment to just clean up the game, but maybe he could have, slingers could have done enough damage to ruin the game for Nervii, but no. And the Cav strat, it works, and you can say nothing less, but 1 to 2. So Seminaked gets his first win, very nice. Very aggressive strat, but I think the key was that one Thracian noble where his general, his noble horse like blocked the charge, didn't lose too many men either, and then that whole flank collapsed because that Thracian noble just did nothing. Funnily enough, I think a funny strat against the Thracian noble charge would be to not even counter charge with your noble horse, but just like touch it, touch the unit with your cav, and then run away. And then counter-charge with your other unit. Maybe that'll work, but if you don't knock him over, you can probably just click another attack order. But you really don't want to charge the Thracian nobles frontally. It's very bad. As we have seen this whole game. Alright, next game. And now the mind games begin, right? So Seminaked just won a game with a cav rush. The question is, does RiceShower adjust his army at all? If he does Seminaked run the same army, or does he switch? And he switched back to the Oaththorn build. So this is a lot of mind games. I like that a lot in these longer series when you're playing the same factions over and over again, because there's definitely multiple viable strategies, and so you can swap between them and try to catch your enemy off guard. But Seminaked says, nah, I trust the process. Like, I'm gonna go with the same army. So 4 Javcav, 4 Slingers, 5 Thracian Warriors, 3 Cav, 3 Nobles, and 1 Chen. But now we go back to the game 2 army, the 4 Oaththorn army. So 1, 2, oh maybe it's only 4 Oaththorn, 3 Cav, 2 Levy Free, 2 Spear Brothers, sorry, and like 3 Levy Freemen or something. Oh no, 1 Spear Brother and 3 Levy Freemen in this army. 4 Slingers, 2 Celtic Warriors, 3 Javcav. So what was the issue last time? Last time the issue was he traded the Thracian nobles and the Oaththorn 1 for 1. And then his support with the Thracian Warriors was a bit better. The Javcav and the extra Cav unit meant that the Slingers died, and it was just general Oaththorn, because it was the only one that didn't get traded off, and some like straggling infantry against like some reserve Thracian Warriors and stuff, and the general, and the Slingers, and the Javcav. He also wasted his Javcav, and he wasted his Spear Brother. So he was a bit wasteful. But even if he didn't waste some of those units, I think basically it would have been a closer version of the same result, because the general didn't even play the game, was completely healthy, so it could probably kill a lot there. So yeah, and then there's extra Javcav and stuff, so he needs to avoid that. What he needs to do is, again, deplete the Thracian Warriors, deplete the Thracian Nobles before they get into combat, so that your infantry actually just wins straight up. And then, sorry, my alarm is going off for a second. It's 10:30 apparently. But yeah, deplete these units so that when you get into melee, you just win, and then it'll be easier to defend your Slingers when your melee is alive. Of course, you cannot waste your Cav as well, but it's only 1 Cav difference, and you can't waste the Javcav, because you can get kited, but if your infantry wins significantly enough, then you can just rush the Slingers with your infantry and Cav, and just take them out, and then the Javcav and the General won't matter if you have your own Slingers alive and infantry and Cav against the General and some Javcav, maybe some Slingers if they survive. So he needs to avoid those trades. We'll see. If you can do that, nice, I can win on the Javcav. You like to see that because they're tired and tired as well, but he does the same. So thinking a bit more about the stamina, because remember, there's that one, I think it was the first game, where his Javcav were just exhausted and got owned. So you don't want to see that. But he's not resting the other 2, so I guess neither is RiceShower really, but yeah, I don't like to see the Javcav very tired because, oh, weird fight here. Not sure why RiceShower stayed in here. He got a bad engagement, but then the Cav just comes in and they got 6 kills. So I guess he really did just lose that one Javcav straight up because of just losses. I think it was because yeah, I can explain this. It was because the fresh unit is over here for RiceShower, and the unit. Okay, so he had 3 Javcav in a line like this, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and you second winded this unit. Did Seminaked, and when they charged in, this unit fought an exhausted unit of Thracian Cav and just owned it. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. But yeah, not sure why I took that fight, and not sure why I didn't immediately retreat when he was fighting closer to the Nervii lines. Okay, so Thracian Warriors and Celtic Warriors taking a fight here. Gonna get shot in the side here, but gonna get a root charge as well. Thracian Cav gonna commit just to tie this Celtic down. Trying to trade again. Trading this for this will be good. Actually, Yeah, but they're fighting so close to the lines of Nervii that the support is much better for Nervii here, and this is a big problem. You can also see RiceShower's formation is kind of fucked up. He's not rotating properly, and so this is really bad because these units are not getting traded one for one. They're getting like focus fired or focus attacked basically, and so they're not gonna trade so good. And you can see they're already down a lot of men with only 12 kills. They're gonna get shot in the back. Now the Thracian Noble's just walking forward, but again, it's isolated. It's not gonna be a fair fight, so you're not gonna trade the Oathsworn for the Thracian Nobles one for one. He's also taking heavy fire here in the center. And again, all these things are exactly what Seminaked needs to do. Just chip down, chip down, chip down, and then your infantry will be much stronger. You can even, your slingers are much better off shooting the enemy units than the enemy slingers, because these infantry just take so much damage to missiles. And you can see, I think RiceShower is just all over the place right now. He's trying to reform his lines. The Thracian Noble's out in the middle of nowhere. These units are nowhere near support. They're trying to attack this flank, but Seminaked just keeps running away smartly. And all of a sudden, he's got big, big problems. Javcav wise, it is 2 versus 3. Did he lose Javcav somewhere? I guess he did lose Javcav somewhere. So he evened out the Javcav losses. Nice javelin volley there on the Thracian Horseman. So again, he's just doing so much damage. But again, they're exhausted, so they're just taking counterfire from the fresh units. The one fresh cav that can just chase these guys down. Active though, so you use second wind on this unit at some point, which is nice. Thracian Noble again just leading the attack, but you can just double javelin volley and run away. That's what I would do. Double javelin volley, maybe then just charge with the Oathsworn and take it out. You don't need a spear unit over here. Like, why not use the javelins on the Thracian Noble? If you don't need a spear unit to help fight against a Thracian Horseman, it's much better to just javelin the shit out of this Thracian Noble. But at least the Oathsworn's gonna get the downhill recharge on the Thracian Noble there, so that's pretty good. Nio, oh, nice play here from the attack here on the Javcav, gonna kill off another one, so he's again wasting the Javcav, very, very important. Thracian Noble does get charged, but it's uphill, so this is gonna be pretty subpar. You'd expect the Thracian Nobles to get a lot of kills, but not win the fight. And again, everything so far is just exactly how Seminaked would draw it up. He's going to get into this fight here, but there's already a very healthy Mighty Horse here, so the Mighty Horse should just kill off a lot of these Thracian Cav. It hasn't done so far. I would pull these Thracian Cav out immediately, so they don't take so much losses. And again, there's just slingers just shooting up these Thracian Horse. 78, 119, okay, these are pretty healthy, but 91, just taking so many losses. I don't see a way back, honestly. Maybe if this fight goes in his favor, but it's not really going to. He needs to activate the general. I think right now the general needs to come here and just start owning things on this flank. But he has no more infantry over here. You can see like he's not wrapping around the flank. Right now I think his best move is he has a Thracian warrior here, would be to wrap this flank. General engages here, Thracian warrior, then recharge this. Then your Thracian nobles can engage. Try to create some counterplay with your one good elite cav unit, but he's just keeping it in reserve, and he's just slowly like losing everywhere else, because without that one cav unit, there's just more infantry, better slingers. The support is a lot closer for Nervii to these fights, so not a great situation. This Mighty Horse is going down though, it's pretty nice. The Thracian cav are winning this fight, but now another one's gonna come. He just needs to retreat, man. He just needs to retreat with his shot cav. So he does get that, but now you can see there's another Mighty Horse going to come in. Now it's going to really start to... Oh, he retreats.
Quickly now! All right.
Not sure why, but it is what it is. Thracian Noble and the Oathsworn are going to charge, but again, support is much closer for Nervii, so they're getting nice shots into the blob. Thracian Noble 67, Oathsworn 100, this is over. Nice charge from the Thracian Warriors, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. There's another Oathsworn here that can recharge, another Oathsworn here. I mean, this is just, yeah, this was like the disaster class from RiceShower, unfortunately. Just didn't get activated with his general. He just let his units get shot up. Couldn't like commit together. Couldn't create a slinger war or anything to just chill. And there's nothing to do here. There's just too many Oathsworn. All your Thracian nobles are pretty much dead. So this is like, I mean, it's a lesson for him. He has one more chance to close out the series, but it's going to be a decider in Game 5, and he needs to learn from the mistakes in this game, I think, because this is the first time where, here we go, he really couldn't get going. And of course, that's good credit to Seminaked too, because he lost a similar game in the game 2. He lost pretty decisively, honestly, where he didn't skirmish. He just let his units get shot down, or he didn't let his units shoot down the enemy units. Sorry, and then he just traded everything 1 for 1, and then the general won the game. Didn't let that happen this time. Not a very close game, but the other way around this time. You can see Oathhorn's still very alive. Cab slingers, everything, no problem. So okay, we get to a game 5. That's what we want to see, certainly. And we have ourselves a game. Let's see. Sorry. Let's see if any changes are made, and they are made. They certainly are made. So, RiceShower losing the 2 previous games, he says, fuck it, I'm going to make a change. He's going to go for 4 Thracian Nobles. Very, very interesting. And he has only 3 Javcav, so he's matching the number of Javcav. That's completely fine. And he has 5 Thracian Horsemen. So he's saying basically, you're not going to bring good Cav, I'm not going to bring good Cav. Fuck it. Like, we don't, the general's not doing enough. I'm going to bring 4 Thracian Nobles, so now my infantry can actually trade down 1 for 1 with your infantry. And with the 4th Thorn. And then again, I'll still have my 4 Thracian warrior type units. But maybe he only has 3 though. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he only has 3, so a bit risky because now, yes, he has 5 Cav against 3, which is nice, so he has that advantage. But he doesn't have as much support in the infantry department because there's going to be the Spear Brothers, there's going to be the Levy Freeman, and the Celtic Warriors. That's like, what, 4 or 5 spears? 1, 2, 3, 4 spears, and 2 Celtic Warriors, 6 support units in the melee department against only 3. But there are 2 more Cav again, but the Mighty Horse are better. The Jav Cav department is equal. He has worse slingers. He is going to rely heavily on these Thracian nobles to make a difference. But maybe with these Cab that you can throw away, you know, with, you can get some charge blocks on the Oathhorn, on the Celtic Warriors, all that, and then his Thracian nobles can really go to work. That would be important to winning the game, potentially. Long game ahead of us, though. Expecting a lot of skirmishing. We're just running around right now with the Javcav. 3v3 on the flank. Equal, of course. Walking a little bit, nice. Best would even be just to completely rest, but the walking is still good. Again, Seminaked going for this very aggro Javcav play. Yeah, cause there's no there's no javelins on the field here, right? So it's a little bit easier to go for this, but again, I think it's just too risky. Like, you just run forward with these Cav, and then you set your slingers still. Like 8 kills already is pretty huge. I just don't think that RiceShower is dealing with this properly. Oh, he has 4 Thracian. Oh, he's a Thracian bowman as well, so he has a slinger advantage, actually. Interesting. But look how much damage they're going to take. Like, why allow this? Why run away? Like, literally just counter rush with your Cav and then like sit here, because this damage is exactly what Seminaked wants, and he's just allowing it. Like, these guys are never going to catch up. They're just going to run across the entire line and shoot. Like, just sit there, stand still, walk your Cav forward so they can't charge, and you're golden. But now he's taken, you know, 15, 13, 8, so that's 21, 36 slinger losses. Here you can do the same thing, but you can see, okay, it does allow it again, which doesn't make sense, but you can see at least the other slingers are standing still, and they absolutely pound this Thracian Cav, so that's much better. Over here, though, the bowman is going to start to unleash on the slingers, so he's trying to get the edge by just shooting the one flank with the slingers. Very nice. He is engaging, I guess, on the other sides too, but it's 3v1 over here, so that's very nice. Although this unit is not entirely firing, I guarantee you. Yeah. Right to about here they're shooting, so like half the unit is shooting, but half is not. Here again, he's about to take insane damage on the Thracian Cav, so Seminaked now the one outplaying in the Cav department. But okay, Mighty Horse is gonna go for an aggressive charge and just gets countered. Thracian Noble could be on the way soon. Because, you know, of course there's a Levy Free here. I mean, okay, it pops that ability, but you're gonna charge, so they come around, so this doesn't really make sense. It's just gonna make you tired. Now he goes for this, but again, now Seminaked is trying to get a little too cute with it. Goes for the engagement, but now gets kind of owned himself. So he's also focus firing this unit. So yeah, now the Javcav are both taking insane damage. So this is a decider game, and you're playing like this fucking wild. I don't understand that. Just like, don't take these kind of risks. You end up trading 36 and 45, so pretty even trade. He gets a nice charge into these Levy Freemen, but it's not going to do much. And the Thracian Noble will probably have to admit defeat here in a second if the Oathhorn comes over here. But he's at least getting some nice kills. He's at least killing off his Mighty Horse and the Levy Freeman. He's going to start taking some losses on the Thracian Noble a little bit. But it's also allowing these slingers to get shot up while that happens, so that's okay. Of course, the slingers are better for the Celtic slingers are better, and these slingers took damage, so there should really be no contest in the slinger war, except for the fact that it's 5v4 with that one Thracian bow. But okay, so we trade off the Cav essentially, and I think RiceShower will be the one who really likes that because he had 5 Cav to begin with, if you trade the cav down so it's 2v0, you're very happy. So the more cav you trade down, the better, because now you just have less counter charge, you know, and these cav can sacrifice themselves to block charges, block javelins, and that's completely winning. So, okay, 2 cav off the field. Larry Freeman lives, I mean, whatever. It's lost some men. But the slinger advantage is firmly in the side, in the hands of Nervii at the moment. 88, 83, okay, these guys haven't really engaged very much. 81 and 76 against 64, 65, Bowman at 45. So right, so there's even 5v4, because of that Javkev damage when you run across the line, he is significantly winning in that department. 59 Javkev, 50 Javkev, just trying to take stock of what the fuck is happening. So 2 healthy Javkev against 3 depleted ones. Well, one's healthy at 46, but one's 28 and 43. So the Javkev advantage is in the favor of Nervii right now, as well as the fact that you'd rather have 3 units than 2, I think. But they're pretty depleted, so you know these very healthy units are going to have something to say about that. And now we have some skirmishing going on. Let's just skip. Okay, he's shooting Nervii Freeman. I don't rate it, but whatever. So, okay, it's Inspiration Bowman rots, but it'll come back. And now, we need to, you know, he needs to try to trade off the slingers somehow, I think. But it's going to be difficult. And even trading off the slingers when it was 5v4 is not really a great result for RiceShower, but it's about the best he can do because he let so many of his slingers die. He has killed the Nervii Freeman. Don't waste javelins. Oh, waste. But whatever. One javelin is only wasted. But now that is the flanking unit kind of destroyed, like the unit holding the flank here. So these Javkev are now going to have a bit more space. But another Nervii Freeman could rotate, but that'll again open up some frontal charges on these units. So not necessarily ideal. Aggressive here, but he's just trying to bait. Now his bowmen and slingers are trying to shoot down this slinger. Again, 2v1. This is very nice. He's getting shot though. The bowman, yeah, maybe you should shoot the bowman. It's an easy kill. But this slinger is going to start unloading on the Celtic slinger. And now he's shooting this unit. He should have finished the bowman off for sure. Oh, he's going to do it with the Javkev, I suppose. Oh, he's getting focus fired. Oh, it's tired. Oh, it's going to try to kill a 60-man unit. Oh, it's dead. Okay, that was a waste. Like, these are the kind of mistakes, though. That's just, like, weird to me. It's like, why waste like that? It's just pointless. Like, he saw what was going on. And then if you suicide into the bowman to kill it, I get it. But he suicides into the slinger, doesn't get that many kills, and is dead. So, it is helping him win the slinger war, I suppose, because he's not shooting back, but he could have just retreated. Here, the Javkev should get some nice shots when they're out of ammo. Slinger war is kind of a disaster at the moment. Because these two slingers are going to be much more healthy than these slingers, and you know the center slinger is 78. He did rout that one slinger nicely. Oh, now he gets the suicide with the cav. But again, he'll make it out relatively clean, but it's like these, it's just risky, man. It's just risky. I don't like playing like that. Like you're just hoping that your opponent doesn't see it fast enough. It's just like if he does, you're just going to get shot in the back. I don't know. I prefer to respect my opponent's ability to visualize what threats could come, but he took a risk. It did pay off here actually, because he only lost 5 men. Now this unit is gonna lose a fuck ton of men. But he does kind of kill Nervii Freeman, but not really. And now, okay, he's rotating this way. This is a great decision because again, the slingers are very healthy here. Seminaked not really rotating his slingers. He just bunch up his slingers right now and start shooting these units on the side. But the cav are gonna initiate a fight, and so we're gonna start fighting now. The Station Noble is going to engage into the cav fight, try and trigger off the cav. The Oathhorn's going to charge. Yeah, so the Station Nobles are going to charge. Not a great javelin volley because there were so many units in the way, but you know, they killed some men. The charge comes in. This is like fine. Like, again, he has his general on the flank, some cav over here. He's rotating this way. These units especially are not rotating, although they could just shoot the Thracian Nobles, I guess it's fine. But you really want to shoot the units that are engaging, because you can shoot these guys later. You want to shoot these guys down before they get into combat, because the Thracian Warriors and the Thracian Nobles are such glass cannon units. Yes, killing these guys is good, but you want to kill these guys right now, because they are the ones that are about to actually start killing your men in melee. Big cav fight goes down here. These guys have better stamina, much better stamina, but they're just outnumbered. and the general's gonna come help there. Nice cycle charge here. Oathsworn at 84 men and gonna take a huge charge. The Thracian nobles were winning. The faster you cycle charge, the better, because the Thracian nobles will do better at the start of the fight, so they have a huge numbers advantage. And now the Oathsworn just get fucked by the Thracian warrior charge, so very nice. Now another charge is gonna come in here, and things are looking much better for RiceShower, because he's really dealing. He's not letting, you know, he in the last game he let his units get shot up and then we couldn't trade off. Now he's the one that's actually trading even more effectively because he has these cycle charges going on. He has this flanking pressure, and really mainly because RiceShower, or sorry, Seminaked did not rotate properly here. He's not shooting the side of these units. He's not getting his support over here. He also wasted a lot of his cav. He's not blocking the charges of the Thracian nobles full. So now Oathsworn is just dead, and this Thracian noble's at 94 men. The Thracian warrior is going to probably die, but that's a worthy sacrifice. And now you can see you have to try to kill off this, but now you have another, all three of his Thracian warriors are here to cycle charge, all these two Oathsworn, and now that means that this Thracian noble is going to get so many kills. It's going to do so well. This blob fight obviously going to be in the favor of whatever unit has infantry support, and it's Thracian noble infantry support, so very nice. Thracian noble gets out, still at 80 men, still at 80 men. Thracian noble should not be able to do this. Like, there's such a glass cannon, but here they're doing so well. This Oathsworn will do quite well though. It's going to kill off probably two Thracian warriors for free, which you will take that. General getting shot in the back, but not really huge. Now the general, he's playing risky business here, but he has to sacrifice two Levy Freemen. And so again, the support unit's getting sacrificed out for a good cause, but there's just a lot of cycle charge potential. There's only one Oathsworn left on the field because this Oathsworn did so well. Still alive at 80 men, still at 80 men, getting another charge. Holy fuck. Now there's an extra Oathsworn on the field for Thrace, or Thracian noble on the field. And now you can cycle charge with these Oathsworn, gets the charge and immediately cycle charges, and then these Thracian nobles won't take too much damage. The fight on this flank here is gonna probably end up being in the favor of this mighty horse. So the cab is getting traded off, and that's completely fine, as we said. There's an extra whole cav unit here. This Thracian horseman just suicided, completely unnecessary. It just ran in here and died, so that's dumb, in my opinion. But still, can you deal with the cycle charging prowess of Thracian nobles? What you want to do is not fight cycle charging. You want both of these units to be engaged at the same time, so neither can cycle charge. But you can see there's this support unit, here it's 2v1, and now it's problematic because the Thracian nobles can just cycle indefinitely. General does get a nice cycle into the cav here, so okay, this cav is going to be 48 men. He has a slight cav advantage, although there are two Jav cav here as well. And the Jav cav are going to get into the slingers. That's fine, as long as he can counter kill the enemy slingers, I suppose. He actually really would like to keep his slingers alive, though. Because slingers could kill the Thracian nobles in the late game. He has 3 of them right now, but one's Levy Freeman is dead. The slinger is dropping. If he can protect his slingers, he can probably win this, because he can probably kill the enemy cav, although it's looking kind of tough to kill the enemy cav right now, because his cav's kind of dead. The general for Thrace is losing right now, and there's not a whole lot of support because these guys kind of backed up, but this unit is 114, this unit is 100. I don't think there's enough infantry on the field for Nervii, and look at the cycle charge. This has been an impressive display, where he's just able to, he fought on one flank only, so he's not engaging around the whole battle line, so that he can just cycle charge indefinitely here. And the slingers weren't fast enough to shoot down the units and prevent cycle charging just by shooting down and killing the units. Now the slingers are finally going to get a lot of shots here. You can just group up on his slingers here, and maybe he has a chance. But there's 2 Jav cavalry, 1 cav unit. And there's this small cav units for Thrace, again, having that numbers advantage paying off. The general's just retreating here. This Oathsworn's going to die. And I think the Thracian nobles are healthy enough here to just sustain and win. This slinger appears to be out of ammo. He had those 2 slingers, though, on Seminaked's right side, which have barely shot. So they should have a lot of ammo, but now the Jav cavalry are going to start to get in. And I think he's just done too much damage here, because there's so much slinger potential left on the field here, too. The cycle charge is coming in. The Thracian noble is still full. And yeah, I think RiceShower is just about done it. The balance of power doesn't like it, but I never trust the balance of power. They're gonna start, they're really gonna start to drop, but there's a full Thracian noble here. There's a bit more cav, and yeah, I don't see where you. The general weighs 60 men. And yeah, I think he's just about clutched it up with a crazy last game, a very crazy game. But I think Seminaked just went a little too psycho with some of the plays at the start. He got himself a good mid game, where he had the slinger advantage, but he didn't utilize it. He didn't skirmish like the one. I think it was game three that he won. No, game four that he won, where he just like skirmished the shit out of the Thracians. He didn't do that. He didn't get good javelins. He wasted some of his Levy Freeman by getting like they didn't get wasted, but they got charged by Cav and died. So he ran out of a lot of javelins, and then he ended up just getting cycle charge. Very nice cycle charges um, uh, from RiceShower, but like he could have skirmished with his slinger advantage a lot more, I think, in my opinion. General, gonna go down to this Thracian noble. Celtic
Withdraw!
warriors, you know, not enough against another full Thracian noble. The slinger is proving very useful,
Hold on!
and it's gonna be GG. So
Regal!
an insanely close series. Very well played to both of them. Seminaked, especially for coming back from that O2 hole, changing it up, and getting back into the game. But ultimately, I think RiceShower just had too many chances to close out the series. When you have three chances in a row, he lost two games, but he learned probably a lot from those two games, and he managed to come up with the right solution in the end. And I mean, you can see the Thracian nobles just dominated. The Oathsworn got good kills, but this first Oathsworn that got cycle charged by that Thracian warrior, it's just really nice timing where he charged in with Thracian nobles and cycle charged very quickly, so the Thracian nobles wouldn't lose too many men. And I think that was the huge difference, as well as the Cav just underperforming, I'd say, um, for Nervii. Like when you only have this many Cavs, you want to preserve them as much as possible. They got good kills, but they kind of got wasted as well. Whereas there's just so many units here that they end up doing better, and you can see like 135 kills, 120, 130 between these two guys. There are 70 kills here. So outperforming the Cav. Yes, it was more numbers, but outperforming, and then also holy kills on these Javcav. Killing the Slingers in the late game, of course, and again, Seminaked kind of wasted his Javcav. It was 3v3, there was no reason to have a Javcav disadvantage. Um, and yet there it was. And of course, the Celtic Warriors and Levy Freeman really died hard this game. The Thracian Warrior support, not too many kills to be honest, but super valuable. The Slingers, again, he won the Slinger War, but he wasn't able to actually use it to any effect. He didn't skirmish enough. And yeah, so well played to both guys. Of course, Seminaked is not out. Wouldn't put it past him to be able to make a run in the lower bracket. I think he's still one of the favorites to make a deep run. But yeah, Odrysians show their worth. I'm still not. I still don't believe in the Odrysians. I think people just like face them like a normal fashion instead of realizing that you can just shoot them. But still, of course, RiceShower is a good player and he's doing well so far. So hope you guys enjoyed these games. The playoffs are here, so I'm sure we'll have a lot of good games coming up. A lot of the series look pretty interesting, and yeah, more content to come soon. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one, and peace.